Hello and welcome to the Eddie Conversation Podcast. My name is Eddie Vigil, and I am your host. This is episode number 105, and joining me today is another Eddie Vigil, my grandfather, the third. How do you go by? Do you go by Edward or Eddie?
I go by Eddie, but a lot of them call me Edward. They call me Eddie, but a lot of them call me Edward, and they also call me Papa Chulo.
Papa Chulo.
Yes.
Okay, great. We are in California, and I'm glad to have you on the podcast here and talk about relive some get your perspective on different memories that I have as a kid, and as well as hearing stories from parts of your life that I don't know. But yeah, let me figure out where to start. But what are you thinking right now?
Well, I'm thinking of how I'm the oldest of 10, 5 boys and 5 girls, and in the northern part of New Mexico, in Chama, New Mexico, where we enjoyed the scenery, the train, and all the friends, as well as the Chama River, the Brazos River, and also the snow and various other things of being in school from elementary all the way to high school. And that's about it right now, but that's what basically I can remember at this time.
Okay. Before we go too far, those that are watching the video version of this, we have a special guest here on the couch. Can you who's this?
This is Little Meal. He's the adopted little dog that we had got that has been with us for, I'd say, 5-7 years. And he's a little brat at times, but he's my little saver and keeps me busy, as well as 2 cats that we have here. And their names are Olive and Chance, but they're bashful, hiding somewhere.
They're hiding for sure. They're being cats.
In their cats.
They're being cats for sure. Okay, so I'm thinking about, I guess, starting from, we'll focus on the Eddie 5 portion of this, because I want to hear your perspective on me. I was born in Albuquerque, right? I was born there, and I know my parents lived with you for some time in Albuquerque at some point, and then you held some of the babysitting duties and helped to watch me. But how can you tell me about little me and how amazing I was?
Oh, definitely. Every evening that I would come in from work, and Gwen and Eddie would do their shopping, whatever. I was given the chores of taking care of Eddie number 5, especially in the evenings when he didn't want to go to sleep, and I would just walk the halls doing ding, 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 and carrying him and taking him, and he would fall asleep in my arms, and then we would put him in the crib, and he would go to sleep, and then, if not, I would turn him over to his mother, and it was a blast taking care of them, and I enjoyed their company when they were there in Albuquerque with me.
Yeah, my mom told me recently that I was quite the crier as a baby. Is that accurate?
Well, it was not. You didn't really cry too much with me because you just enjoyed having me bounce you up and down in my arms as you were walking down the halls. We did a lot of walking back and forth, and I enjoyed that. And I can't remember you crying that much. But the thing is that you were there and part of the family and eating your mom's good food. And we went from there, and then I moved to California, and that was the end of that.
Yes. Well, I'll definitely want to hear these some more context on some transition moments, and you because New Mexico was your childhood, right? I'm curious to hear about what it's like having so many siblings growing up and how your parents handled it. And like, I know we're talking a little bit before, but even your own grandfather, who I don't believe I ever got to meet him.
No.
But yeah, what is that like having all that? It sounds chaotic to me, but
Well, chaotic as it was, we still had 4 brothers and 5 sisters. It was an incredible task and a challenge, and it's unbelievable what mom and dad could actually do, listening to all of us, taking care of their love for each one of us, and the gratitude that was shown by them as we were being raised, and we would all have our certain places at the table, being served by mom and by the girls when they would have supper, and we never went without breakfast, lunch, or dinner that I could think of. We did have pancakes every Saturday, and that was ritual. But it was incredible as to what they did for us, and the upbringing, the discipline, and the the memories will never stop. Like I left when I was in freshman year. I left to Santa Fe, and I gave my portion of the bunk bed to Ernest, the youngest brother, because the boys had their room and the girls had their room, and I went to the seminary for 3 years, and then I returned to finish my high school in Escalante in 1967 when I graduated. I attended Fort Lewis College for a semester in Durango, Colorado, and then I enlisted in the Navy after I was drafted, and I went to the Navy till 1970, and then I returned home, worked for my father. We ran the Eddie Chevron and the Twin Rivers Trailer Park, where we raised Eddie and Christy, and we stayed there through 1975, 76. 1980, I moved to California, and that was to Albuquerque, and I started a new segment there.
So I wanna hear about, because that's the fast way through it for sure. And I'm curious to hear, I guess going back to having all the siblings and stuff, but what was your, because the house that you were talking about that you grew up in, for those that know me, like I directed my second movie in that house in Chama. That's where Out Past Dark was filmed, and the whole cast and the crew, primarily, like, we stayed at the house. People got to experience all of the different rooms there. There's 3 bedrooms. One bedroom was for
Mom and Dad,
mom and dad, and then the girls' room
in the boys'
and the
room,
boys' room.
and we also had one bathroom. But then they added on that other bathroom in the boys' room, which was an added. It was great to have it, but not during my time. It wasn't there. And the thing is that we just had to take turns, and because I was the oldest one, I was lucky that I would be the first one to use the shower or to take a bath, and the rest of the siblings would have their water either cold, timid, or they would be changed, but it didn't bother me because I was finished. And then I just went out to do my stuff, and I did have beautiful memories of having my dad allow me to have a cow, and her name was Molly, and we raised her from being a little heifer, and we came out with Dad's love. We finally had 5 cows from her, but then Florian Gonzalez and his dad, Florian Sr., they came and they took Molly because it was too strenuous to taking care of 5 cows in that backyard behind the house. But that was one good experience. And then another experience was the great experience that I had with my tata and my nana, because they were very good to me. I got to experience sleeping in the sheep tent with Don Elias, and when we would take him supplies, and they showed me what it was to be in the tent and taking care of sheep and singing to them, and what you call it, and me and Tata would be in the garden getting vegetables for Nana, but we never got back to Nana because she would always be there telling us, don't be eating the radishes and the green peas in the ditch with your feet in the water when I need them over here to make dinner. But we got scolded in a nice way, but Nana took care of me with the best tortillas ever. When I was ready to go to church, she had the nicest alarm clock. I would never forget. It was the loudest one, but I never missed going to church to be an altar boy.
And then I definitely want to hear about the seminary and all of that. But before jumping into that, I did want to hear about experiences and lessons learned. You talked a little bit about it, but from my great grandparents, your parents, like you mentioned, they somehow were able to corral all of these kiddos and give them all love, give them all meals, and it seemed like there was a lot of structure in the home. But like being that you're the oldest, I'm guessing that you were the one receiving a lot of responsibility and kind of leading the boys in a way. But what kind of lessons do you recall being handed down from your parents as you grew up?
Well, my role as the oldest brother, I was I always spent it going to work with my dad at the station, and also taking care of the outside when it snowed. I had to be shoveling the snow, and then at the same time, uh, really, I didn't do too much other than being with my four sisters, Mary, Linda, Terry, and then Tommy came along, and he was my little blessing, and then Larkin later on, and then Michael, and then the twins, and then Ernest. But by that time, I was already that much older, and they all had their. I was very fortunate that the twins would take care of Eddie, take care of your dad and your aunt. When I went with their mother, we would go dancing at Ben's Lounge every Saturday, or when we had a function to attend. The twins were there always, Joan and Joanne, and we all had nicknames. I remember mine is Chumchi, and I can't remember what the rest of them are, but Dad gave us all a nickname. But I mainly enjoyed the responsibilities of going to work and taking care of customers, and I didn't stay too much at the house as the kids were growing up because, first of all, those kids would run around, but my parents never minded. But they they had patience. I don't know, and endurance. I don't know how my mom and dad could put up with all 10 of us. That's why I mainly stayed away when I was doing my thing at the station and doing other little things that I never stayed at the house that much that I can remember.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, it sounds like yeah, they had an incredible patience and were able to manage that, and you let them do that, and you worked and did what you did. But yeah, I want to hear about because you mentioned the seminary and you were studying to be a priest. Um, and I think you were saying earlier that was you were really looking forward to it and you were working really hard for that. And how did that come to be, and what did that path look like? Because I know you didn't end up being a priest, so
I became a father. But no, in reality, it was the upbringing of our Catholic faith that I wanted to be a priest with Father Myron, Father Salvador Aragon, and because I was me and Victor Martinez, we would be the ones that would be the most faithful server boys. I just wanted to serve the Lord to the best of my ability, and I wanted to become a priest. And I was fortunate enough, after being denied to become a Franciscan in Cincinnati, that I was given the opportunity to attend Immaculate Heart of Mary Seminary in Santa Fe as a freshman in high school. I did good. I had Latin 1, English 1, all that stuff for the freshmen. I did return for my sophomore year. Very happy. Then my junior year, it was getting more difficult because I was Latin 3, and then we had the science, like your Latin 3 was kind of getting difficult. And then you had your science, like chemistry and trigonometry, as well as other difficult subjects. But at the same time, Archbishop Davis downsized the seminarian class from, say, 35 to 25 or whatever, and I was one of the ones that was told to return home to finish my high school because of my GPA wasn't equivalent to a B average. So I went back home and I finished my high school, and then I graduated in 1967 with my sister Mary Agnes, because she was my go person, because I didn't want to go to school in kindergarten back when we were going to kindergarten. So they let her go to school with me, and they let her stay in my class. So we graduated together in 1967, along with Amarante Casillas, Silver, Atencio, a bunch of guys and a bunch of girls that I will always remember. But and what you call it, we just kept on going. But then I finished with my high school, and then I went to the Navy, and that was another segment in my life.
And we'll get there too. We'll get there. I do want to hear. I keep saying that. Can you tell me about Santa Fe? Because I don't think we said it explicitly. Maybe we did, but Chama, New Mexico, is a very small village town, small population. And Santa Fe was your first experience, like going to school out there was your first time away from home, right?
Yes.
How was that?
It was an experience in my freshman year because I had never been out of Chama other than going to Los Lunas to go see Grandpa and Grandma Gallegos in the station wagon as we were going to visit them. And being in Santa Fe was a difference as I was growing up and experiencing being away from home and receiving the love and gratitude from my mom, because I would send my laundry back to Chama to have it done, and then she would send it back to me, so I wouldn't have to have anybody else do my laundry. And they would come up and visit with me, but it was not as well as you would think. We were not allowed to leave the seminary unless it was our parents, even on a weekend when they were visiting us. We could just stay there at the seminary and devote our time to study and being with the Lord and continuing on with our goals that we had in mind. Sophomore year, the same way. Then junior year, it was more difficult because it was a rougher classes, and then at the same time, Archbishop Davis had the seminarians downsized to where I had to return home, and I finished my high school at Escalante High School in Tena Maria, New Mexico.
So then, how? Yeah, you mentioned the Navy and joining there. This was, yeah. What? How did you know? Because the draft, there was like a draft going on at that time, but it was still a voluntary, right? It wasn't like a mandatory, or what's the situation?
It was not mandatory. It was actually, if you got a draft card, you had to report to the draft board to see if you qualified to be drafted into the armed forces. We had no choice. Either you go or they'll come and pick you up and take you. So I showed up at the draft board to take my physical and my mental test, whatever, during the break from Fort Lewis College, and turned out that I was speaking with a Navy recruiter who convinced me to join the Navy for 2 years active, 2 years inactive, and 2 years active reserve. And I did sign on that day, and I didn't. I reported for duty on May 1st in 1968. In 1970, January 1st and January 5th, I completed my 2-year enlistment. But I was fortunate that I got to see the Mediterranean. I got to see Italy, Sicily, Northern Africa. We have Athens, Greece, Turkey, the Baltic Sea. So many different beautiful areas that I was glad to be back in the United States of America. And then I went ahead and was fortunate enough to be at the Caribbean, San Juan, Puerto Rico, during that time. In 1970, I returned home and I started to work with my dad at the Eddie Chevron in the Twin River Trailer Park. In 1980, I joined the Navy Reserve.
Because when you were initially being drafted and going through that process, that was during the time of was that the Vietnam War? Is that what was going on at the time?
Yes.
Okay, but you never ended up going to Vietnam.
The ship that I was on was a Jonas Ingram DD 938, and it was scheduled to go to Vietnam, but we took it down to Puerto Rico and San Juan to make sure it was battle ready. And we had problems with the ship. Another ship took our place going to Vietnam, and we took its place going to the Mediterranean, to where I got to see the Atlantic Ocean, and I got to see England, Gibraltar, and Northern Africa, and like I said, Brindisi, Italy, Genoa, Italy, Naples, Italy, and Malta, and I even got to spend Christmas in Athens, Greece, and I went to Istanbul, Turkey, and then we had war games with Russia ships at the Baltic Sea as they were getting close to us, and we would go close to them because we were on a mission as they were doing their thing with their mission of taking care of Russia, and we were taking care of the United States, and we just stayed there for that time period, and February 14th, I was back in the United States in Jacksonville, Florida at Mayport, where I was sent home and then came back to another ship.
Yeah. So from my perspective, it almost sounds like in the moment when you were thinking you're going to go to Vietnam and then the plan changes Like, was there relief in that? Like, it almost seems kind of like lucky to not have to go to Vietnam, but I don't know how that felt in the moment to be like to have that plan change and you go somewhere else and
Well,
experience
we
all these
were
other
battle
places.
ready at any given time, at any given place. We were battle ready because we have all the munitions. We're ready to go at any time, anywhere. So going away from being not going to Vietnam, we still had the same responsibilities of being in the Mediterranean as being battle ready and everything else, because we did have problems with the Caribbean down south of Key West, where we were patrolling Cuba and Havana. We were having problems there as well. So we were battle ready, and we just did accordingly and completed our missions. And we were still ready to go at the moment's notice. But another ship took our place, and we just kept with the notion that we could still go, but we never did go
Yeah.
to Vietnam.
Yeah. I'm still thinking about you being small town boy, seminary school, just experiencing kind of like a little bit of Santa Fe and then going straight from there to experiencing all these places around the world. Like that seems like I mean quite the adventure. Like I don't know what it's like going from trauma to spending Christmas in Athens, Greece. Like those are wildly different places to explore, but that yeah.
Well, it was a good experience because at Christmas I called the parents, but I forgot the time change. I was waking them up to wish them a Merry Christmas at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was over there at 9 o'clock in the evening or 8:30, saying I'm going. We had phones there at the USO there in Athens, Greece, at the naval base, and I got an opportunity to be in line and talk to my parents, but I didn't know it was that time change and it was a different date. But they were very glad to hear from me because remember, we didn't ever get the mail. The mail was sometimes 2 or 3 weeks late, sometimes early, but I always had a letter from dad and mom, and a lot of my, I think my sisters would write to me, and the communications, we didn't have cellular phones. We just had to just manage what we can, and I was taught, and I did that as a hobby, to write letters back home. When they received them, I don't know, because we were aboard ship. Yes, I have never seen so much water in my life. It's deep too, and cold. Naples, Italy. Guess what I did? I lost my class ring.
Oh no.
It was over the side. I was painting the side of the ship, and I went to reach for it, and my class ring came off my finger, and it went into Naples shipyard, and never could find it. And it's still there somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and what was it like? How did the family react when you told them that you had signed for the Navy, and what was the response from your parents and the siblings?
The response from my dad was very positive because he served in the Navy in 19 during the World War II, and he knew, along with Smokey and several other guys that he went to school with, they joined the Navy, and they were very proud of me for doing what I did, and they were always uh, they always picked me up at the airport when I was coming home on furlough, or when they were taking me back to the airport to fly away to my new command station in Florida. But they enjoyed it, and they gave me a positive attitude by writing to me all the time.
Yeah, and what about the sisters and the brothers?
The sisters, they would all write to me especially the older ones. And the younger ones, like Terry, would take care of my cow. And Terry, she took care of Molly. Linda and Mary, well, they were always there uh, making sure that I was doing fine. And we communicated whenever we could. And then Mom and Dad, they sent their letters when they could. And I think, I don't remember if I could talk to them or not, because when I was on the other side of the ocean, we never did except for that time for Christmas. I never did talk to them. I just sent strictly letters, but I did get my share of letters.
That's great. I'm trying to. How was it coming home after the tours and then going to work at the Chevron again and seeing all the brothers and sisters have spent all this time? Well, yeah, they're still grown up, and then you come back. What was that like coming back again, back to Chama after experiencing all of that?
Well, first of all, I was fortunate enough that I had your grandma and I had been dating off and on during that final year of me being in the Navy. So that following year, in August, we got married, and we started a family, and we started taking care of the trailer park, and we had your dad and we had your aunt, and we were going to make a future out of it, but unfortunately, it never happened. We went our separate ways. In 1980, I moved on to Chama. I moved on to Albuquerque.
Yeah, and then regarding like trauma as well and the siblings aspect, like I'm trying to think too. What was it like managing the trailer park and stuff?
Well, it was good because the thing is that we had the twins, Joan and Joanne. They were the best babysitters ever for taking care of your mom and dad. Because every Saturday we would go out dancing. We would just get away and take a break from working the station because we always had to, in the trailer park, we had to make sure that the laundry was working and the bathrooms were clean. And at the same time, the tenants that were there in their own trailers that were parked there, we would all make sure everything was working fine. It was a good experience because it was low keyed. Everybody got along with each other, and it was a great experience because eventually I wanted that station to be prosperous the way my dad had brought the business up, and we also had the bulk plant. Remember the bulk plant? We were taking care of that too. We were delivered oil and gas to different stations there in TA and one in Dulce and to the highway department and several farm accounts like Tony Casados and Peter Casados. And we had such a camaraderie of people that were there, and we all thought we were one big happy family, and we did. And that was the one good thing about being in Chama. I even served in Chama on the city council.
Oh, okay.
I took over from when my cousin Sonny passed away, and I was given the opportunity to fulfill his term. And I was a police commissioner, and I had to follow under the administration of Benny, and Ben Martinez was the city council. A.B. Hollenbeck was on the city council, and myself. And we enjoyed doing it to make Chama known on the map. So it was if you can keep it active if you do participate. You cannot act if you don't participate. You have to act. And that's the way I did. Just keep on going.
Visit chama.com, everybody.
Yeah.
And then like I mentioned earlier, right now we're in Southern California, outside of a couple hours out of LA, and you've been in California for quite some time now. But what brought you out here? Being that, yeah, how'd you end up in California?
Because my beautiful wife at the time, Allison, and I, she wanted to come to the beach, and we wanted to come to California, and we wanted to give it a fresh start because we recently were, what you call it, demoted or let go from working in Albuquerque for 10 years for no reason at all. So we decided to have a fresh start in a new marriage, and we moved to California, to Tustin, California, in 1980. No, yeah, 1990. And but I had already been in the Navy 10 years in the reserves, and because of the fact that I was coming to California to Port Hueneme, and we have the Marine base down in San Diego, we decided that let's just go try California, and it's for a fresh start. That's what we did. And then in 1990, I got activated to go to Desert Storm because by that time I was assigned to with the Seabees, NMCB 22 out of Albuquerque, and then we moved to California, and I got transferred to 16, NMCB 16, and we went to Desert Storm. But guess where they sent me? San Juan, Puerto Rico.
You've been there.
I was there on active duty. Now they sent me back there on a reserve status in Desert Storm.
Oh.
I enjoyed it. I got to see the beach. I got to go get a suntan.
Yeah, you like the sun.
I like the sun, except the mimes. Those little bugs, they bothered you in the knees down.
Yeah.
But that Avon something friend lotion kept them off. But I did enjoy being in Puerto Rico. I was what you call it on first division? No, first division. Boatswain's mate. But they also had me as a liaison man, where I would go pick up parts from outside of the base to bring them back to the base because I spoke Spanish, and I enjoyed it
Okay.
till July. From January to July, I was there in Puerto Rico.
Okay. Yeah, a good stretch of time there. Yeah, 'cause I remember visiting. Like I have memories of coming down to visit you and Grandma Allison, and I remember there being. I was surprised with how many oranges were. Like I think it was when you guys were at the. Was it a trailer? Right, you had a trailer, and there was like lots of orange trees around, and like maybe me and Caesar, my mom, would go and just pick them, and we'd come in and just juice oranges and just drink orange juice. But I remember being surprised with like I guess that's why they call it Orange County. But
Well, that's true too. 'Cause I think it just you had them we didn't have them in Tustin.
I don't know.
No, it was over here. You came here. You didn't go there to Tustin.
Oh, I thought I've seen multiple places of yours, but
Did you go one in Tustin? The mobile home?
I think so.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, my dad got the chicken pox on that trip, and we did some of
Oh,
the
okay.
Legoland
Oh, okay, okay.
and yeah,
In Disneyland.
yeah, Disneyland, Legoland, Knott's Berry Farm,
Okay,
that kind of stuff.
okay. So then you did see it. Okay,
I
then.
think so, yeah.
But then we have 4 trees here in my backyard, and because of the recent drought and everything else, I haven't been keeping up because, unfortunately, my beautiful wife, she passed away August 17th of 2023. So I'm keeping the memories going, but right now, uh, we have to just continue facing whatever venture I have here in California.
Yeah, so these days, well, I guess just to ask, I don't know. I'll ask on behalf of the family. I know they want to know. Everybody has to hear. Why why not go back to New Mexico? Why not go to Albuquerque? Everyone else is around there.
I enjoy being here in California because I have my privacy. I enjoy being here. And if I would be going back to New Mexico, I wouldn't know where I would start because they're so loving and they're dear, and they would keep me active and having menudo and papas and chili, green chili, red chili, pozole, and also uh, let's call it. I don't. But right now, I'm happy where I'm at. I haven't really given it much thought at this time to uh, to move over there because I enjoy being here. I just
Yeah.
don't see no need for me to leave because if I sell this house here with the interest rate on a new house, and I wonder who would put up with me other than Lorraine and Tomas and Joan and Joanne. They have their little house, and I have Terry, and then I have Linda, and then I even have Mary and Bob in Phoenix. I have places to go, but right now I enjoy my privacy because it's been hard because it's been 2 years and I'm trying to get over it, but I have to be positive and focused and take it one day at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of processing still, lots of feelings. And I know I'm thinking about like I like how you said it too with like you emphasized as well like right now. Like right now this is how you feel. Who knows what the future holds? But yeah, right now that's how you're feeling and no, I that's that makes sense.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is because, like, say, what I learned in the Navy for 33 years that I served in total service. I was a career counselor. I was a debt, uh, what you call it, coordinator. During the time that they went to Iraq Freedom, I was the main person at the Reserve Center there in March Air Force Base with uh, with my status as an E5, second class petty officer, reporting to the captain's call on our behalf of NMCB 17 at that time because of the new recruits and new personnel that we were receiving. I had to address our roles as at the Reserve Center, and they enjoyed having me there. And I came out uh, with an award for Outstanding Petty Officer of the Year for my service because I was doing my duty on behalf of our country that I serve, and I will do it again. I will not let our country go down, and I'll defend it. And if they need me, I will go back. But right now, we want to just continue on doing what we have to do as a retiree. And the VA has been good to me. They at Loma Linda and here in Murrieta, California, as well as they help me with my hearing aids and other special needs. So I have everything going for me. I have what more can I ask for?
No, that sounds great. I'm glad that you're feeling taken care of. So I had a random question come to mind here. I was looking at this piece of jewelry you're wearing here. Is there a story behind this?
Yes, there is because the thing is, this turquoise was given to me by a guy because I misplaced my other one that I do have, did have from Navajo from Farmington. But this one here was given to me by a guy that didn't know what this rock was. And he said he didn't want to see it on his arm and he didn't want to have it on his wrist. and he was a good person. He worked at Barron's, and he just told me that he had a gift for me, and he gave it to me, and it would turn out to be priceless because it's nothing but turquoise and silver, and I'm very blessed that he gave it to me. And I asked him, "Do I need to pay you?" He says, "No, it's a gift from me," and I've worn it for the last 4 years.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful piece. It definitely reminds me of New Mexico for sure.
Oh,
The
definitely.
Southwest, the
Yeah.
turquoise pieces are great. I know. I just myself am wearing my first pieces of jewelry. These are from Santa Fe. I've got a ring
Okay.
and this. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll upgrade to this at some point. It looks. I've
Well,
I've I've been wanting to figure out how to fit turquoise into something and have it, but I like that piece. That's nice.
well, that's maybe you can check over there and check with in New Mexico. Maybe they might have some random some some of Dad's jewelry, Grandpa's jewelry. But I think we all have it. I have a bolo tie, but I don't know what happened. If he had, I know he had a he had a ring that was turquoise, but I don't know who has it now.
Yeah, and did he wear other jewelry outside of that? Or was it
Who?
your dad?
Oh, I don't think he ever had a necklace on. I don't think he wasn't because we couldn't really wear too much jewelry because of the fact that we were in the gasoline business and automotive, and you want to get sparked, especially with your finger.
Yeah, mechanics.
Mechanics,
You
you
don't.
lose your finger.
It'll get stuck
Like
somewhere.
me, I lost my finger.
Yeah, how did that happen again?
That's when I was working at Steelcase in Tustin, California, and I lost my fingertip. See, no fingertip.
Yeah.
I lost because, and then they dismissed me because I couldn't pick up small parts. So I got into being a Primerica, and then I became a security guard.
Yeah, so that's what you've been up to 10 plus years now is what I think that's right. How has that been?
Well, it's a good experience because the fact remains is that as a security guard, you have your responsibilities of uh, uh, reporting and observing. Number one. Number two, you have to make sure that the safety of all people, regardless of wherever they come from, whatever they do, you have to make sure that they're okay. You have to just be diligent, resourceful, and being there to handle at any incident that might occur at that time. Because with fentanyl that's coming in, I've seen 5 cases that I personally saved from dying because they were given that uh, where they were on the floor in the parking lot in front of stores, and if it wasn't for me to call 911, they might have not made it. Two of them were close to death, but they were saved, and hopefully they can control this fentanyl and illicit drugs, and hopefully we can take care of this homeless situations where they can find something for them to be taken care of in a way that they won't be messing up with different things that are happening at shopping centers, break-ins and shoplifting, and uh, and the dangers that are behind it. You know what I'm saying? But the main thing is the drugs are. It's at that point where you have to just be careful who you're with, and what you're doing. You have to be careful.
And then regarding the security, just this is kind of like a random easy question here, but what makes cuz I feel like I see security people in front of businesses all over the place now. It's kind of like but I don't know what makes a good security versus like a bad security person? Like, is there things that I could keep an eye out for that help me know whether should feel safe or a little bit not safe?
Well, you could just be sure that if you can see them, they'll observe you, and if they have a diligent and in their mind that their role is to protect and serve, they you shouldn't have no problem. It depends as to what area you're in, what time of day you're in, that you have to just be observant, be diligent as to what the situation might occur. Because right now, there's other officers that they just kick around, just do this, do that. And they think it's a big old, it's a game. Some of them just ride the golf carts, and then they're just getting from one point to another point. They could care less. But I do take care of them because I do take care of the transients as much as I have to tell them that they have to leave. I tell them in a nice, you have to be, what's that word? You have to be complacent and what's that other word that they use? Where you have to be nice to them, but at the same time be strict with them. And they understand. But there's a lot of them that are very belligerent and they can do damage. Like one guy got hit on the jaw and shattered his jaw. They hit him with brass knuckles.
Wow.
But
Wow.
right now it's one of those things. But we have other guards that were using the patrol cars joyriding, and you don't do those things. A security guard has to be held accountable for his role during his shift at any given time when he's on duty.
Yeah, and then just to clarify for people at home as well, you've been safe out there. Yeah, nothing's ever happened to you. No brass knuckles. You've kept your distance and you've kept yourself safe while keeping us safe as well, right? Like how?
Yes,
Yeah, I'm hoping.
yes. We have a 6 foot rule that if we don't get close enough, and if they get any closer, we're supposed to notify the local PD, and they'll notify. They know that there's guards that might be in danger, and they'll come to our assistance. And in the 15 and a half years that I've been as a guard, I haven't yet to see anybody hurt me, do anything wrong, and that what's called that I that hurt that can be that I have to be worried about. Right now, I'm not worried.
I'm glad. I hope it stays that way. Um, okay. I'm trying to think here. What's calling inside of me is to ask for, this is the life advice portion of the podcast where I'll ask for
Advice from me?
Yeah, let me ask about relationship. Um I'm thinking of like Grandma Allison, for instance, and
Still miss her.
and yeah, and I miss her too. And I'm currently not in a relationship, but I'm thinking about my next relationship and being good to that person and having a long lasting happy relationship. And what could, what suggestions might you have?
Well, in my opinion, my beautiful wife, well, all of them were nice to me. Don't get me wrong. Your parents, your grandparents, your grandma was very nice, but we understand each other. We weren't meant for each other. The second one is the history. I don't want to talk about it. That's now with Allison. Yes, she was a gift from our Lord. She was very good with me. She taught me. She gave me the opportunity to be down in Australia. She had a beautiful family. They treat me like a family. They got to see the bridge. I got to see Bondi Beach. I got to see different things, and they call me damn Yankee. But the thing is, and I thought I could outdrink them, but at that time I was drinking. There's no way I could compete against those guys down there. But with her memories and her love I'll always cherish her. But now, as time goes on, I'm thinking about me. I have to look at myself in the mirror. I have to focus on what I want. I want to be happy. I want to stay diligent. I want to do what she wants me to do. And I know that where she's at with the Lord, she knows that she wants me to be happy.
I'm hearing, yeah, respecting each other, being honest with each other. That I mean that yeah, I mean that sounds right to me. It sounds like an easy yeah. That sounds great.
And then with with my two cats and my dog, in here in Menifee, the whole point is I have to just, like I tell everybody, show in order to have show less wrinkles by smiling, and then you have to think of your health more than your wealth. You have to take care of yourself before you can think of getting all the riches. Because if you go after the big bucks, what's that going to land you up when you get to my age? You're going to be spending most of it on health, on medical bills. So you have to focus on what one day at a time, one issue at a time, and be honest with each other. Be honest with yourself, because nobody can do it for you. You have to do it yourself. Nobody can cover for you. You got to just get up, do your best you can, be honest, and strive and go forward. But I can't remember what her name is. But
It's okay.
I have CRN.
It's okay. Can't remember nothing.
I can't remember nothing at my age. It's very lucky that I forgot that we had this a lot of things going on. But everybody knows me. Whoever knows me, they know me, and I just enjoy being part of a person's or person's life, to where they can focus on what they want themselves. What can they do? Because nobody else can do it for them.
Yeah.
One door closes, one door opens.
Yeah.
And one thing I have to say is, you have to rely on one thing. Your eyes open, you don't see the roots of the roses. You open up, you see sunlight. You know what I'm saying? You're not seeing roots, because that means that you're the other side. But right now, you just have to don't look back, just look forward. Keep on smiling and keep on going.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and then I do want to ask, you are again, you're my grandfather, and I didn't get to know my other grandfather on my mom's side. He passed away when I was really young or before I was born. I almost don't even know the timing. I was that small. But you got to know him. Like you mentioned earlier when we were talking that you recall working at the station and even like working on his truck, but I was hoping you could shine some light a little bit on his personality and what you remember about him, because I don't know much.
All I can remember is that he would stop at the station and he would be very cordial with me, very nice with me, and we would always have a good conversation on any kind of matters, because he lived in Los Ojos. I think he did live in Los Ojos. And he would always be there to give spur of the moment thing. If I needed something, he would be there, more than happy to help me, and we would just be good friends, and just what can we do in Chama in Los Ojos, you know what I'm saying? But that was a good point, that I did remember having his truck being serviced at our station, and he would be very happy being there at the station with us, and and then we had to drive in, like there was a taco house in different places that we had to have tacos, and we had Vera's, But I don't remember. We never did go to eat like that. But the thing is, it would be mostly cordial type, hi bye type thing, and we never. And then I think he was. I think I saw him in school when we were going to school.
Hmm.
Remember, I was there in my junior year, senior year. Maybe they were in the later years that I didn't see him because they only had the Escalante High School, and I can't remember seeing him in school.
Yeah.
And with my
Okay.
memory, I can't remember
Can't remember nothing.
nothing. But I mean, I have memories.
Yeah. Yeah. You have memories. It's just accessing them is the I want to hear that story about the drive-through and what you went through with the drive-in movie theater and what happened there because there was a big lesson to learn from that.
Yes, because the fact is that we sent in Terry, and she didn't come out afterwards. So then Linda went, and then she didn't come back outside. And then Mary went in, she didn't come back outside. So I go inside, and guess who's waiting for me? Mama. She sat me down at the table and told me what business did I have getting cigarettes at in the first place. Well, I just said we want to just have cigarettes, nothing to it. Well, anyway, the next day, Dad sat me down, told me that Terry got 1 week suspension, Linda got 2 weeks, and Mary got 3 weeks, and I got 4 weeks. No, can't use the truck to go to the movies. So we had to watch the movies from the backyard, and it's hard seeing across to Rabbit Peak, that area going west from the
Mm-hmm.
back of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to do that and watch it from the back fence. But we learned our lesson, but we never got spanked. It's incredible. Our parents never spanked us because I was I've always been noted for being the best person. That I never got spanked, but I was fortunate enough that I had four sisters after me. No, three. Mary, Linda, and Terry, and then Tommy came, and then Larkin. Then those two guys, they were growing up together, so they gave me a ration of stuff. But those two brothers, they were both great brothers. Then there's Michael. He was good with me. And then the twins. And then Ernest. And me and Mary, I think we were the ones that baptized Ernest. And we were fortunate enough that we're still all together. And we're just doing the best we can now as we're going on in life. Everybody's doing their own thing and facing their challenges and everything else. And I'm doing my stuff, happy here.
Yeah, out of the 10 the 10 kids, right?
Yes.
Um only one is still in Chama, right? That's Uncle Ernest
Yeah, Uncle
is
Ernest.
managing the Eddie Chevron and
He owns it
he owns it. Yeah. Yeah.
in the
But
trailer park.
yeah, in the trailer park, but everyone else has gone they've scattered. They're around. Like you mentioned Phoenix here in California and Albuquerque and whatnot. But
In
yeah,
Santa Fe.
Santa Fe. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm thinking about those lessons from great grandma and great gramps with them not. I remember you telling me a little bit, another story too where you came over after doing some drinking and she did not like that.
No, because I would leave Albuquerque on my weekend to come and visit my parents. And one time I was just coming and I stopped in Abiquiu and I got me a six pack. As I was coming into Chama and I stopped at the house and Mom saw that I had been having a few. She told me if I was going to come and see her, don't be drinking. If I was going to drink, don't come here. And ever since then, I never drank when I went to see him.
Yeah, that sounds like setting a nice clear boundary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause they weren't they didn't neither of them smoked or drinked, right? They were both.
It maybe occasionally they would have they would get if they had somebody over sparingly they would have somebody come and they would have a beer.
What about a cigar? I think I remember cigars maybe.
My dad had a cigar William Penn, and I think he used to do it on Sundays. I don't know if during the week because remember I wasn't there most of the time because I was the oldest one, and at 18 I was out of the house. A lot of the guys now, quite how old are they now, and they're still living with their mom and dad.
Hey, you know.
You know, what I'm saying it's
Just
change.
kidding, just kidding.
Times change.
For sure.
But in those days, I left at 18, and I only slept in that house. Let's see, when I was either married or divorced. No, yeah, no, because I even stay. The last time we went is when they had the dedication for the park, and I stayed in the motel room. I didn't even stay in the house. And but those are the great memories. Now, if I would go back to, well, I would say if I go back to Chama, I would be more than happy to get into that house and get the and but at my age, is it going to be feasible? How am I going to get to the VA from Chama?
Yeah, huh.
And like airlifted or even to the VA to hospital. That's the only detriment. And I don't think none of my sisters want to move up to Chama to be in the snow to take me down to the airport, went to to the clinic or whatever for checkup. And if I go to Albuquerque,
Nope. We have a phone call coming in.
when I when I
Okay.
go to Albuquerque, if I would go to Albuquerque, I know that I'll have plenty of help, but I think I'll be more of a pest to them than they are to a pest to me because I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to go here and go there, and I want to just stay in my little casita and what's called it. I just at this that's the way I feel. They're good to me, yes, I know that. They'll do all kinds of things for me, spoil me, but I want my privacy.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see how it goes. We don't know
Exactly,
what the future holds,
exactly.
but
One
yeah,
day at a time,
one day at a time.
and smile about it.
And smile.
Yeah.
Um, Great. Well, I'm thinking that's unless there's other stories that are coming to mind that you want to share. I think we've done a good job of exploring um, aspects of your journey, and yeah, I'm happy with what. Yeah, but anything else coming to mind before we close out?
Well, maybe two items, maybe three.
Okay.
Number one is you have to maintain. You have to maintain your goals. Set your mind to it, and then you gotta do it. You just can't think about it and then don't do it, and then forget it. Either go for it or you don't. You just have to just do it. Sometimes you just need motivation. Sometimes you need a kick in the tail. You know what I'm saying? But same time, don't blame others. You've what's that called? You have to face your own consequences.
Yeah,
Nobody else's but you.
yeah, taking responsibility for
Yeah,
the decisions or lack of decision.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's up to you. It's nobody else's. They can tell you all they want, but if you don't act, do, and complete, that's the end of the equation. You don't do anything. So anyway, that's the whole thing.
That's one, and then two.
Then two, you just have to just strive. Just remember, wealth, no, health more than wealth.
Health more than wealth.
Health. You got to take care of your health before you start thinking of getting rich and doing this and have to get that and do that. Because when our Lord takes us, that's another important thing, the most important thing ever. Are you ready? Have you accepted Him as your Lord and Savior? You have to do it. We had a Catholic background. Beautiful. Sister Mary Patrick, Sister Estelle, Father Aragon, Father Rivera, Father Lucero in that seminary in Santa Fe. But if you don't have a personal relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ, we have to just look at it. Are you going to take that chance? I think I'm not. I know He's my Lord and Savior. I know it. Because I have to be accountable to Him. Mm-hmm. You're not accountable for me. I'm not accountable to you. But we have to say, yes, Lord, you are my Lord and Savior. And then be the best Catholic you are, best Christian you are. You got to go for it. Do it. Behave and conform. You have to. That's the only thing I can think of. And be happy.
I like it. I like the passion.
And you got to be passionate. You got to go for it. You just don't do that. You just have to go after it. You can go after that goal, that NBA crown. Well, we're going for our own NBA crown. What is it? What's your goal?
Yeah. What's my goal?
Yeah, what would be your goal?
I know my goal right now is connecting with family and friends and building the relationships with the ones that I love. Mm-hmm. And like that's a part of the health that you're talking about too. It's not just about keeping the body healthy, it's about keeping the heart and the mind healthy too.
Right.
And that's something that I've neglected in a way, and I haven't given it the attention I feel now that it has deserved, so that focus is shifted to that side of the health side. Mm-hmm. That's where the mind is at now.
Okay, see, that's the whole thing behind it. You have to go for it, and like I was going to say something, I can't remember, slip of mind. But the point is that you got to just go. You have to just do it. You have to just be there. You have to just be happy. Be happy. Be happy. 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 Because nobody. You're not. Hey, you came in here butt naked, and you didn't come with a suitcase.
No.
And you're not leaving with a U-Haul.
Nope.
And when you're leaving, you want to make sure that you're there when you die. The moment you die, that's the moment you're going to be in the Lord's hands. If you believe, if I can't change you, you can't change me. But I know once I die, absent from the body, present in the Lord. I'm the best Catholic Christian that everybody can say, because I went to Catholic school with Sister Mary Patrick, Sister Mary Estelle, Sister Mary Margaret, Sister Mary Augustine, and Father Lucero, Father Rivera, and Father Aragon. They were all my mentors. But the only mentor I have now is our Lord Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. Because I came in butt naked, and I'm leaving butt naked.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
Because you know what? The people that don't like me, you know what, Eddie?
Sure.
I want you to make sure I'm buried upside down.
Yeah, because why?
Because then they can kiss my ass, the ones that don't like me.
There it is. There it is. Yes, we will make sure.
Might want to cut that out.
No, it's fun. Okay, but yeah, that's no. Thanks for sharing with me. Thanks for sharing with us. And thanks for also letting me know that you'd be open to something like this and sharing with everyone. This is fun. This is fun.
Everything open. I'm here to help them, and they can help me because they help me in return.
Yeah.
Because we might not agree, but I still love them. I love each and every one of us. We have to. We have to love our God first, and then we have to love our neighbor second. And it's in a cycle. It's in continuous. If you don't have one, you don't have the other.
Yeah, and loving yourself.
And you're loving yourself. If you don't love yourself, hey, I look at myself in the mirror. Hey, man, this guy's getting up there, bro. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm already losing my hair.
Wow.
Lost my teeth. Lost my hearing aids. What else is gone? Oh, I got furniture disease.
There we go.
You know what furniture disease is, right?
Tell me.
That's when your chest falls down towards your drawers.
Say it again?
That's when your chest falls towards your drawers.
Oh, okay.
That's furniture disease.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for enlightening me on that.
And then eat menudo.
Yeah, can you explain to people what that is that don't know? It's very New Mexico.
It's stripe, but it's good for the health when you're sick and you're not feeling good. I know Linda, Mary, and Terry don't like menudo. I don't know about Tomas and Lorraine, but Lorraine, I have to give her credit. One thing, but Lorraine and Tomas, Lorraine makes good breakfasts. I mean, she spoiled me when I moved to Albuquerque. She spoiled me. She made me best breakfast every Saturday. But then at the same time, she didn't let me paint her house because I messed up her bathroom. I mean, her utility room.
Okay.
When you see Lorraine, when you see her,
tell
her that you want me to paint her utility room.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll check in.
Okay, check with Tomas and Lorraine and see if Lorraine needs me to paint her utility room. She fired me.
Oh, my.
Because I didn't paint it the right way.
Well.
But anyway, I'm way back in 1980.
Okay. It's still lingering, though. But I'm glad, yeah. Well, all the shout-outs are nice. That's fun. I can see you're getting into it for sure. It looks like you're having fun. So
yeah, of course we're gonna have fun. There's nothing better to do than. Well, you want me to cry about it?
No.
See, the whole thing is.
I mean, you can cry. It's okay to cry.
Cry, but the point is that you have a good thing going, and I want the best thing for you, Eddie, and your dad, Eddie, number 4, and Gwen and Caesar. We don't mention too much about Caesar, but he's a good guy. Too bad that I didn't see him that much, but he's a great guy, and you guys keep in contact with me, and we can continue on.
Yeah.
And Mio is right behind you.
Mio's been chilling here, doing such a good dog.
Yeah, that's what he already knows you, but you saw how he was at the beginning.
Yeah, barking at me.
Yeah.
But okay. Well, that's the show.
Okay.
Thanks for being on.
Thank you very much for having me.
And bye, everybody.
Bye.
I changed the frame a little bit. Talking. Great. Okay. Great.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast.